Hey guys, Glenn from Fieldmagic here, and today I want to run you through how we can actually migrate your data and get your data into the system, whether it's a small number of records or a large number of records. So one of the features that we have within Fieldmagic is a really powerful and flexible and fast data importer, and so we're going to show you how we use that today. So first things first, we have if we look at our data structure here, okay, so within the Fieldmagic system, we have our customers. Those are the people that are going to be billed or we send our invoices to. We optionally have individual contacts, okay, and those customers have one or more sites or locations related to them, okay. The reason we have that is that, and there's no need to import contacts. You can have basic contact details and customers and sites. However, if you need to track multiple different contacts against your individual customers or locations, for example, site managers, administration, owners, all these different roles, you can use contacts, okay? So in this case, we're going to import our customers, we're going to import our sites, okay, and we're going to import our asset types and assets, okay. Recurring jobs, product catalog, these things are all importable as well, okay, and I'll touch on how to do that, but I'm just going to show those main core items today. In terms of how we're going to do that, we're going to use what we call an upsert, okay. An upsert is when we have an external identifier, for example, something from your source system, your accounting system, whatever the case happens to be, that we can store within the system to then have the system work out when we upload that CSV file, whether it should be creating or updating an existing record. So let's say I'm re-importing the same 10,000 customer records again and again. They all might have an identifier from my accounting or ERP system. As long as I include that in there and map it to the external identifier field, external ID, it won't duplicate the records over and over. It'll just keep updating it. So you can keep re-importing until you get it right. Okay. So we're going to show you how you do that. All right. In terms of how we do the imports, okay, we've got a couple of tools that we have. So we have a really powerful bulk importer, which will import, hundreds of records a second. And we also have the ability to bulk delete records as well. So if you make a mistake, you can go through, delete everything, clean it up, and go from there. We also have a mass update as well, which allows you to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump in and I'm going to give you a live demo of the data we're going to import. Thanks. Okay, so what we're looking at now is we've got a blank system ready to have the data imported. Okay, if you need to clear your data, you can go and find the records and use your bulk delete to actually delete the data. Okay, but what we're going to do is we are going to import our 4 files here. So what we have is we have some sample organizations, some individual people that go with that. Okay, some asset types and some assets. Okay, so if we just have a look at, say, one of those files here. Okay, we've got a sample set of organizations. We've got an external identifier there as well. Okay, and we've got an associated address. Now, I'm actually, because I'm going to import 2 sets of, I'm going to import this data twice, one as customers and one as the locations or addresses. I'm just going to create a new column. Okay, so we've got a new column there. We're going to paste our data. Okay, and we're just going to call this external customer ID. Okay, so we've made it the same external ID, but just to so that we have the ability to link the sites up with the customers. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go over to my import wizard. I'm going to import my customers. I'm going to get my organizations or customers list. Okay, I'm going to upload that. Okay, it's then going to just check the data and see what we have available. I'm going to map my file, my fields, external ID, customer name, address or street, city, state. Okay, our zip code, country. Okay, latitude and longitude. Contact details and phone. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here, so that external ID is going to guarantee that my data isn't duplicated if I need to import multiple times. I'm also going to save that as a customer's import. Okay, and I'm going to submit that. Okay, so this is telling me that there's a missing field. Okay, there's actually 2 extra fields I want to add on the ends there. The first one is type, and because these are organizations, I'm going to say that those customers are organizations, and I'm also going to have a flag that indicates that this is a customer. Okay, so I'm going to update my template because if I need to re-import, I don't have to do that again, and I'm now going to run that. Okay, so this is going to import that in the background. It'll take generally only a few seconds. You can see it's just imported those records successfully. And if we go over to our customers now, that has all been imported. Okay, so that's all good. Okay, I'm now going to import my sites. Okay, same file. So those are the locations. Okay, now the reason that we have sites and customers is customers are your who's paying the invoice, but you might be servicing, say, multiple different locations within the same customer. Okay, so for example, think about the head office that gets the invoice, and you might have 200 different sites around Australia that you are servicing. Okay. Now, I wanted to show how we link the records. So in this case, we're saying that this site is related to this customer via the external customer ID. Now, because we imported the customers first and we included that same external ID, we can use that ID to match this up with the customer. Okay. So I'm going to just call this, I'm going to map the fields again. Okay. City, state, zip. Now, if those labels match the fields, it would actually map them automatically, but in this case, they're slightly different, so it hasn't mapped them. Okay, and we can, again, map the contact details if we need to. All right, so I'm going to save that as the site import. Okay, I can run that. Okay, we've imported successfully. If I go to my sites now, I've got the site imported and it is linked to the related customer. So we're actually just going to import or manually create the assets, asset types, I should say, and then we're going to import assets against it. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got my 3 asset types. I'm going to go to import my assets. Okay, now within, if we have a look at, say, that list of assets, okay, as an example, okay, we'll actually see that we have, so all of those assets reference one of the related asset types. Okay, so one of those 3 asset types. Okay, so if we have a look at, say, fire extinguishers, for example, that asset type has a certain external identifier, okay, which we've put in there, and we can also select which fields we want to appear in our asset reports, okay, and any custom attributes that we want for that asset type, we can add in there as well, okay. Now, I'm going to go and import the assets now. Okay, so assets, fire safety. Okay, we're going to upload that. If I select the asset type, it'll give me any custom attributes that I've got for that particular asset type. Okay, so what I can do here, much like the others, I can say external ID. Okay, external site ID to match it to a related site, the serial number and the name. Okay, and then the assets, external asset type. Okay, the location. If we have a GPS location, we can show that as well. Okay, or we can map that as well. I haven't created that at the moment. Okay, so again, I'm going to save that template and call it assets import. Okay, I'm going to submit that. Okay, and if we see how that goes. Okay, we've imported 100 assets successfully. Okay, so if we now go and have a look at those assets, okay, we can see whether they've been tested or not, what the status is, which site they're linked to, which customer, and so on. And if we go into the asset, we can see, obviously there's no job history there at the moment, but we can see all the information there.